The most asked questions about remote work in 2024. I decided to put this video after I put together all the questions that I was getting asked in terms of remote work from last year. So if you want to know all there is for you to know before you start applying for remote jobs, please continue watching. Hi, I'm V. I'm a full-time remote worker and I work for a law firm that is based in the USA. In this video, we are talking about all things you need to know before you even start applying for a remote job. So let's just get into it because this might be a long video. Requirements for you to work remotely. Some of the basic requirements are that you're supposed to be 18 and above. You should have matriculated. You should have finished high school. You should be able to communicate in English. So make sure you are able to communicate effectively in English. You also need to have a working space, a space where you can work from that is quiet and conducive for your productivity. So you definitely need to make sure you've got a desk and you've got a comfortable chair that you can work from. Working hours. Now, this depends on the company that you end up working for. I personally work for a USA-based law firm, which is in the Eastern time zone. So I work their time. However, there are some companies that once they hire you, they can allow you to work your time zone, but there aren't that many of them that you will come across. I will be honest with you, there aren't that many of them that will come across, but some of them do allow you to do that. Just prepare yourself mentally and physically. You have to be prepared for the change of time zone because it really does kind of alter your lifestyle. Like when I started working remotely, I was actually working from, I think it was 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. So imagine that means once you're done at 2, you're getting ready to sleep. And unfortunate for me, I could not go to sleep even up until now. I can't go to sleep straight after work. So it's going to take me about 2 or 3 hours to finally fall asleep. And in the morning when everyone else is waking up, even on Saturdays, when everyone else is waking up to go and have a social life, your social life is gone. Like it's non-existent. So you have to be prepared for this mentally and physically as well. It will take a toll on your body as you are adjusting to a different time zone. When it comes to tax, depending on how your country of residence handles tax, most of the companies that hire remotely are going to hire you as an independent contractor. Basically, you are going to be working on a contract, so you handle your own tax. And what you can do, you can visit, if you're in South Africa, you can go to SARS. They are able to give you all the information you need, or you can even check online how you can register yourself and you can handle your tax on your own. Otherwise, you can also find a tax practitioner, someone you can pay to handle that for you. And then in terms of visas, because this is something, this is a very big one. People are always asking about visas. And what I can tell you is that if you are hired internationally, during your interviewing process, your application process, you will not be asked for a visa. What you do need, and this is for people who will be applying in a country, from a country where they reside, but it's not their country of birth, like they are not citizens of that country. You need to be able to provide documentation that says the government of that country allows you to work while you are in that country. So that could be something like a permanent residency. It could be a work permit. It needs to be some sort of permit that does show you are allowed to be working while you are in the country that you're applying from. But visas are not a requirement. Even if it's an American company that hires you, you do not need a visa because there is no traveling that is required for you. The whole point of working remotely is so that you can work from the comfort of your home, or you can work from anywhere else in the world. So you're not going to need a work visa to work for the country that has employed you. I hope that really makes sense. Now, when it comes to interviews, I've been seeing a trend now where most companies are not necessarily having like those Zoom or Teams interviews. Going forward, it seems as though most companies will basically ask you a question and asks you to then just record your answer and submit it. So when people ask about how to prepare for an interview, my tips for those people are that you want to make sure you do your research before you even start applying. Watch this video if you want to know how to properly prepare for an interview. So you really want to make sure you have done your research, you've prepared, you've done your questions and answers, and you are consistently practicing for your interviews. And then on the day that you have your interview where you are doing the whole recording, okay, so first of all, for a face-to-face interview, right, the traditional interview that they have been doing online, which is one where you were supposed to show up on Zoom or on Teams, what I would suggest you do, you have done your research, you have practiced your question and answers. Now what you must do is, before the interview starts, you want to do something active. So either go and do some yoga, and this will help with relaxing you. And these are things that I do myself. Do some yoga, go for a walk, have a little dancing session, play some music, listen to something that puts you in a good mood, go running, do something that really gets your mind off of the interview, so that when you sit down for your interview, you show up as your true self and you bring your whole self to that interview. Trust me, this helps. I've never failed an interview in my life, and these are some of the things that I do. So make sure you do any of those. It will help you produce happy hormones, it will help you relax, and it will help you show up as your true self to the interview. And for the people who will do the interviews now, where companies are just asking you a question and they ask you to record yourself, right? You should have enough time to kind of prepare something. So if you sit down and you've got your phone or you're recording on your laptop, obviously you see what question they are asking you, right? My first thing that would come to mind is what I would put on paper. And this is how you should prepare for anything that needs you to either recite or sound like you're well knowledgeable of the things you're talking about. And you want to sound sure as well. What you want to do is to put down everything that's coming to mind, put it on paper, and you want to read through that. Put it in the wording that you want it to be like, because the first draft was you just brainstorming, taking everything out of your mind that is coming to mind as you read the question. Put it on paper, revise it, rewrite it, read it, and then record yourself. By the time you do this, trust and believe, you're not speaking off the top of your head. You're not going to make as many mistakes as you would if you just wanted to record at the first take. You're also going to be sounding a little bit more sure of the things you're saying and more convincing. And that's really how you're supposed to show up for an interview. And if you've enjoyed this video, you are going to enjoy this one. So please go ahead and watch it.